and Highness Radio. All right, just want to say welcome once again to all those returning. Right here on the line, we have my next guest, DJKat. Good evening, How are you doing?
Blessings every time. How are you?
Yes, I'm doing good, DJKat. It's a pleasure having you here. And also want to let you know, we also have some other networks logging in. We have Rockthebox.net from out of South Florida. We also have Caribcast Radio from out of Florida. Out of New York, we have People's Choice Radio. Out of Ghana, Africa, we have Ghana-based radio logging in. From out of the UK, we have TGM Radio 1, and we have One Harmony Radio also logging in. Welcome, DJKat. And once again, I say it's a pleasure. And, tonight we're just going to vibes and talk a little bit and learn about DJKat and, some of the things that you've been doing. And I guess to start us and tell us a little bit about who DJKat is.
Wow, where do I start? DJKat is a DJ, a presenter, a poet, and just an all-round soul rebel.
All around soul rebel, So, I mean, it's... So I want to go back from, way back when, in Jamaica we say from your idea, your knee. You know what I mean? Like, where did this start? And I guess on the musical side of it, and tell us about what were you exposed to in music, and what were some of those things about music that drew you to becoming a DJ or a presenter of music yourself? Okay, so
I started music when I was, or getting interested in music, should I say, when I was about 16 years old, because I wanted to look at something positive, because I was going through some bad situations with being bullied because I'm very different and how I express myself. So I decided to look at reggae music in particular, because my heritage is from Jamaica. So I thought, let me check this music out. And of course, I fell in love with it straight away. So that's how it started, really.
Yes.
And then...
Go ahead.
And that then wanted me to expose it to other people. So that's how I kind of went to my local radio station, which was at the time was called Hills FM in Hillfields in Coventry, in the UK. And just started from there, really, and just started to expand. So more and more people were like, Kat, you've got a lot of talent, expose it. So from the age of 16 was when it really kicked off, really.
Let's get a little bit more in detail about that. You talk about going into the local radio station in Coventry. I mean, how were you doing, like, where you just one year said, boy, I want to do music, so I'm going to go into Coventry. Tell us about the presenting part of it, or what were you doing to get ready for that moment, once you recognize that's what you wanted to do? What were some of the things that you do in preparation, going to that radio station?
So before that, what I would do is listen to reggae music and what was out there, what was happening. But myself, I like the old school reggae flavors, but I was also listening to what was new and upcoming. So I used to prepare tracks and lists and saying to myself, well, I like this, what are people really listening to out there? Because as a DJ, you've got to play, yourself, you've got to play for your audience and what they want. I used to prepare the tracks, prepare the lists, and I just, like I said, when I went into the radio station, I just said to them, look, listen, give me a chance. This is how it started. And then from that chance, they gave me a little chance, and then obviously it went from there. So yeah, I suppose it was just my initiative, because I wanted something positive for the people, and I suppose expose my experiences from a young age.
And how was that experience? Because here it is. Wow, you're in a major radio station, and was it nerve-wracking? Was it something that was felt pretty comfortable? How was that very first experience for you?
The very first experience, I ain't gonna lie, I was terrified because I'm not really, I am a bit more now, but at that time I wasn't really somebody that spoke, or I was very fearful of speaking, because like I said, when I was going through the rough patch at school and being bullied, it kind of knocks your confidence and knocked my self-esteem. So I was like, why am I doing this? But I just had this feeling that this was what I needed to do.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So I just went with the feeling, and I just said, well, this feeling obviously means something, so I've got to do it.
Right. No, and you know, with saying that, and I guess this kind of intertwine with the poetic part of you. So I guess we'll probably talk about that a little bit also. And as far as writing, were you writing prior to that? Tell us about that part of you, and how did writing poetry start?
So poetry really is I've kind of been doing bits and bobs when I was in my teenage years, but I really started to look at it a bit more in depth when I started looking into poets such as Benjamin Zephaniah, looking at Maya Angelou, you know, all these great people that I was really learning myself, because we never got taught Black history in school. So I was learning it myself, and I say to myself, wow, poetry is really serving the community. And we don't really hear about it. We don't really hear too much about poetry and guild poetry and things like that. So I started to write myself, and I thought to myself, some of the experiences, I'm sure other people are experiencing it. So I wrote it on pieces of paper, my feelings, my thoughts, things like that. And then it just kind of went from there. And I posted it on social media, and I was getting a lot of good responses. And then, of course, I'm not sure if you've seen it yet, but in July, I did a video of one of my poems.
Oh, yes.
And then it's kind of expanded and expanded, so I'm hoping to keep going further with that.
Mm-hmm. Right. And is that one of the first poems that you've done and presented it in this way, as far as putting a video out or having recording, you know, some type of audio for your poetry? Is this your first piece that you've done that way?
Yeah, it is the first piece. I felt like this particular piece that I did, it was the first one because it's such a true topic to myself. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure if people can check it out and so on, but it's about being light skinned and coming from a mixed or a dual heritage background. So being black and white, but having very light skin, and the treatments that you receive and what's expected of you within society. Mm-hmm. That's what it kind of talks about. So it's quite a deep topic, and it really resonates with me. So I thought this was something that will kick it off, I suppose, kick off poetry for myself.
Right. You know, and you know, let's talk a little bit about that experience. I mean, and I guess, you know, it has to do with prejudice, and it's, you know, normally you have a black-white prejudice, you know, but you have experience, you're somewhere, like, in a sense, in the middle, you're experiencing it from both sides, right?
Yeah,
yes.
That's correct, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And, you know, tell us a little bit about that, and you know, just a general experience.
Well, it's for me, it's been an interesting experience, because if people know who I am of DJKat, they'll know that my skin is very light skinned, but I wear red, gold, and green. I'm very Afrocentric in my way of dressing. Mm-hmm. So. And I love that way of dress. So, of course, automatically people are thinking, hold on, what's going on here? This is a white woman dressing black. That's usually the concept people have of me. Mm-hmm. But when they start to ask questions, they find out, actually, Kat's actually got family where's from Jamaica. I've got family from Syria, China, you know, all over the world. So it's not just, oh, Kat is just a white woman trying to be black. Mm-hmm. That concept that people have automatically is something that I think can either create problems for myself and them, or it can create curiosity, and it's a bit of both, from black and white, really.
Yes, understand. You know what I'm going to do? I'm sure I have your poetry here. Let me just go ahead and I'll pull that up and you know, play a piece of that. For those of you who join us, this is DJJammy, right here with my special guest, DJKat. All right, so let me go ahead and just pull that that up. It'll take just a second here. And also while we're here, I want to welcome everyone or tune in wherever you're tuning in from. I do hope you're enjoying the vibes, the music that I played earlier. And, we have DJKat. I guess if DJKat was here, I'd put her right here in the seat. I said, go and run the music, you know what I mean? And we talk,
Yeah. Well, you never know, maybe in the future. We have to set it up, innit?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
For real.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead that poem here.
Okay.
All right, and this piece. Now, as a poet, do you use the name DJKat, or there's a different name that you use?
Well, I have thought about having a different name, but I've kept DJKat because that's how I'm known. So I thought, you know what, I'll just run with that and keep as that, because I think it just saves everybody. DJKat and then another name. It's best just to keep one name. So at the minute, it's DJKat.
All right, let me go ahead and run this right here.
Yeah, man.
I'm light skin. What does this mean? I have no place, no color scale. Questions of black and white. I'm both. Heritages from two opposing opposites, described as sides ready for battle in life and history, like day to night. Explaining yourself over and over, questions occur. Where are you from? Who are your daddy? Why are you so light? How has that happened? So I'm there thinking, Coventry, you won't know just how I was made, I guess. Same way you got here. End up just smiling and saying, I'm very light skinned. A little okay replies, their brain races, not knowing where to fit a light skin. Does it mean I have to act in a certain way, so no attitude? Eat certain food, so don't discuss tea with idle? Wear certain clothes, so no red, gold and green with that obey snapback? Speak in a certain way, so no wagwan with an okay sir? Some will say, why don't you just pretend you're white? Life will be so much easier for you. I mean, you look white, so you won't even get bothered. You're privileged to be that light. You'd be accepted if you just didn't say you was black. So, forget who I am. So it's easier to fit me in a box. Forget those who are past, forget family, forget a whole nationality. History recalls. So how could I ignore that? Like those in power. But I am strong. I have come to accept the stares of uncertainty. From black to white, white to black. I could never forget a powerful history. How could I change me to make life easy? I mean, what's that?
Wow, powerful poem coming from DJKat. I tell you what, DJKat, I'm going to go ahead and I just want to run a track real quick, and then we're going to come back and speak a little bit more. This next track I'm running, this is one of my personal favorite track, for many reasons. I was introduced to this track, it was, I wouldn't say a rough time, but, through some changes and things. And a brethren of mine gave me a cassette. It was a cassette. It wasn't even the album. And I don't even remember the name of the album, and the cassette. A track called Pick Myself Up. It's a Peter Tosh track. But what I'm playing today, it's an acoustic version coming from an artist called Siddiqui. So here we go. Pick Myself Up, coming from Siddiqui.
Blessings.
Well, the world is rife with enemies coming from all sides at all times. Dependence is the worst.
This track right here, Pick Myself Up, coming from Siddiqui. DJKat, as a DJ, while you were working at that radio station in Coventry, I guess you've done presenting, interviewing a lot of artists. And tell us about some of those artists that you've interviewed along the line, and also were there any that were more memorable or stand out more?
Okay, so I've interviewed quite a few different artists. People like Protege, Kez Namdi, Danai. I've interviewed. Wow, how do I go? I've interviewed Richie Spice. I've also interviewed some local artists as well, Buki. There's so many to list. Loads and loads. Each and every artist has a memorable something about them, a person that I felt very kind of inspired by was Benjamin Zephaniah. I really enjoyed, because I actually got to meet him at the studio on aratradio.com, where I am now. I got to meet him, and he was really inspirational. But the same with Richie Spice as well. I got to speak to him on the phone and really talk to him about his music and what music means to him, some foundation of the music. And then, of course, Protege as well, a new upcoming artist who's doing so much for the music business right now with Chronics and people like Kabaka P, Damian Marley. They're sort of really inspirational people that are very young as well, that are making their waves. So yeah, there's been so many different memorable moments, it's really hard to pick.
Yes.
It really is so hard to pick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and no, as far as DJing right now, what do you also do radio, or do you play out? Tell us about what's happening now, and the transition as you moved along as a DJ.
Well, it's been in stages with the radio itself. So, like I said, I started off at Hills FM, which is a very local radio. It reaches the area of Hillfields, which is in Coventry, and I think now it's further afield as well. Then I went to a station called Vanny Radio. I was on there for about 2 years. And then I decided to move to Arat Radio, also in Coventry, which I'm on now. Mm-hmm. And I do that every Wednesday, 6 to 8 p.m. UK time. And basically, I've just incorporated different things within my show. Mm-hmm. So you probably would have seen on Facebook things like DJKat's Top 5, Poetry Moment. And this is where I get the listeners to send in their music to me and play it on the show. Uh-huh. Because I am a true believer that you need to obviously encourage the listeners to listen to you, which is a big part of being a presenter.
Yes,
and then, of course, showcasing new music. It's really important to showcase new music, but also respect the old school foundational music as well. So that's what I try and do in my show each Wednesday.
Oh, right. And as old school, when you say it's tell me some of your favorites, old school. What are some of your favorite old school artists?
Some of my favorite old school artists are people like Burning Spear, people like Peter Tosh, Bonnie Wailer, Bob Marley, Rastafarian Elders, Queen Omega, Queen Ifrica, literally all the foundational artists that helped build up reggae music and push it forward to what it is now. I think it's really important so you know where they're coming from. It's like in stages, and I think it's really important. People Jah Shaka,
yes.
When you listen to Jah Shaka and the music's vibrating through, even Abashanti, it's really, for me, it's really great to see how those particular artists push their way through to allow how those particular artists push their way through to allow the young artists to come through now. So now from Jah Shaka we now have Young Warrior coming up, which is Jah Shaka's son.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just really important to make sure, okay, respecting the young person, but it's quite nice.
And tell me a little bit about what it like in Coventry.
Coventry. So Coventry is a great city. It's now called the City of Culture for 2021. But at the minute, for reggae music in particular, there's not much happening or really going on in regards to reggae music, because Coventry is like seen as a little city, like on the back of Birmingham. And if you know the UK, Birmingham is a bigger city, just like London. So Coventry always seems to get missed reggae music. So if you want to go to see like an artist like Chronix, you have to go to Birmingham, because that's where they'll be. They won't come to Coventry. So hopefully,
how far?
Hopefully in the future.
How far is Coventry from Birmingham?
It's about 30 minutes. It's not far.
Okay.
Yeah, it's literally about 30 minutes drive, maybe even less than that.
So pretty close, yeah.
Yeah, pretty close.
That's close enough. But at the same time, you'd love to have your own stuff in Coventry.
Yeah, because there is a lot of talent in Coventry. There's a lot of young artists as well in Coventry that are doing not just reggae, but grime, soul, all different types of genres, but they don't seem to get their music heard as such, because, like I said, Coventry is like on the back skirts of Birmingham. So therefore, the artists and that, and the producers and things like that will always go to Birmingham, because that's where the biggest city is.
Yeah.
It's just how it is. I don't know if it will ever change. Hopefully, they'll look to Coventry as well, but we just don't know.
Yes, or maybe you can be one of those, first promoters that start bringing some artists into Coventry. So our Birmingham folks coming down, because I'm sure if you have a good artist, people are going to come from the surrounding areas, and then the folks in Coventry, I'm sure, would welcome that very much. Not true?
Yeah. For real, yeah, man, it's on my mind. It's on my mind to do it, but it's also about making sure there's enough support, which is always needed if you've got something like that going on.
Yes.
Yeah, for real.
All right, massive. We're here in conversation with DJKat from out of the UK, and in between, I'm gonna slide a few tracks in, and what I'm gonna do, DJKat, seeing that earlier you mentioned Jashaka, and so I'm gonna go ahead and run, some, and for those who don't know about Jashaka, can you tell us a little bit about Jashaka? And while I put up a track.
Wow. What can I say about Jashaka? Jashaka is, I would say, a foundational dub sound system man who plays all over the world, who really exposes roots music and the real authentic roots, where you can feel the vibrations through your body if you've ever been to one of his dances. And he's, I would say he's a figure in showing Rastafari, which is, if people don't know what Rastafari is, it's about living well, living good. And we look up to Haile Selassie and Empress Menenai the First. And I think he really showcases that in particular, and showcases roots music, such as dub.
So dub, all right. I'm going to go ahead, and this one is called Everything Dub. All right, you're tuned DJJammy right here on Zion Highness Radio. I want to pick up all the other networks logging in.
Without any apology, Jah is everything to me.
Yes, giving you some dub there, coming from Jashaka, and we're here with DJKat coming to us from out of the UK. You know what I mean? And DJ wise, and DJKat, what would you say is your mission in music?
My mission in music is to, I would say, to bring knowledge to the people about unity, living together, and equal rights and justice. That is the mission for all around the world. It's a big mission, right?
Yes.
But it can happen.
Yes, definitely. And it definitely can happen through music and you know, the message in music.
Yeah, man. For real.
You know. And you know, as we talk and folks, how with the social networks, how can they find you on the social networks?
Okay, so on Facebook, you can find me under DJKat Virtual, or you can find me on _DJKat on Facebook as well. Mm-hmm. On Instagram, it is DJKat, just DJKat with an underscore as well. And then on Twitter, it's DJKat Queen. Everything else was taken. And then so you can find me also on LinkedIn as well. LinkedIn is DJKat Virtual. Mm-hmm. And then I have an email as well if people want to link me up. That's Katrina with a K. Mm-hmm. And then it's .BURCHELL at outlook.com. Okay. So that's all different bits.
Right. And you're talking about your video on YouTube. Do you also have a YouTube link?
I do, yes. My YouTube channel is called just literally DJKat. But sometimes there's different DJKats on there. So you can put DJKat Coventry and then you'll see my YouTube channel come up.
Right. And also to let you know, that's DJKat with a K. You know what I mean?
It is. Yes, that's it. Okay. Okay.
No, we have to let them know that. So, you know, they go looking for DJ. So, can't find DJKat, you know. So
yeah, man.
DJKat Burchell. Now, on the business side of music, and, you know, if there's anyone on your side or anywhere that want to book you for events, what's the best way to reach you for such matters?
The best way is probably through either literally all the social medias, because I'm on all of them. The best one really is probably through Facebook or email, because I'm on them more often. So those two are probably the best ways to reach me.
Yes. And do you also have a website by any chance?
I don't have a website as of yet, mm-hmm. but hopefully something new for 2019. Yes,
you know, and no, as I'm looking here, I see, you know, there's the musical part of DJKat, but then you know, you mentioned earlier, one of the things that you said, you like to, you know, change certain things, you know, and I see you're doing stuff to do with youth and community development, and tell us a little bit about that and what piqued your interest in that.
Well, for me, really, I think the youth is a big part of society. We need to be with our youth, teach our youth what is happening and what can be happening, and I think it's a big part. And at the minute, especially within the UK, I feel like our youth are really being forgotten. Mm-hmm. And that's why you probably heard it yourself, really. There's a lot of knife crime, gang violence, all these particular things.
Yes.
Because our youth services are being cut dramatically. So basically the people that are suffering are our youth within the UK especially. Mm-hmm. And probably elsewhere as well, but I can only speak for the UK. And then community is a big part. People, I don't think it's really taken as serious as it can be. Having a community behind you is really, really important. As they say, it takes a community to raise a child. And that is true. And at the minute, we're all kind of individual. Oh, we have to look out for ourselves all the time. And I think that needs to change, that mentality of it. And I suppose what piqued my interest was when I was growing up and I was going through the issues that I was going through, was that I had a really strong network behind me. Mm-hmm. So I had my crew, I had my uncle, I had my mom, I had lots of different people, but also musical people in my community where I could lean on. And I'm seeing less and less of that for young people coming up. And I think that's why it's so difficult for young people to make positive movements. And it's actually really sad to see. So that's when I decided to go to university and learn about youth and community development a little bit more. Mm-hmm. And I think that's the foundation of it, really. The whole idea and what I'm seeing in my community. And I'm thinking to myself, this is really wrong, and I want it to change. And so obviously, in order to make something to change, you've got to do something yourself.
Right. So, you're taking that step to, go ahead and do that. And, I want to say, I really admire that. I admire folks in general who find a way of giving back and, is actively taking that step. So instead of saying, boy, I'm going to do this, you actually, go out there and do that, Now, let me ask you, are there any musical talents to DJ Kat? Do you sing, you DJ as in, like chanting music? Do you play any instruments?
Wow. Well, I can beatbox. I can play the drum. I'm learning the guitar. I sang in a choir growing up as well, a gospel choir. So there's lots of different bits and bobs here and there that I can do. So I guess so. I guess I am musically talented.
And now from being a DJ and as far as instruments are learning different instruments, it's what piqued that interest or and is there a plans in the future to probably play drums professionally on occasions, the guitar or for whatever instruments that you play?
Well, I've sort of started doing it because in the poetry video that you played earlier on, at the end of that particular video, there's a drumming piece. And when I'm talking about drums, I'm talking about African drums, where they're like bongo sort of drums. Yeah. I like to play. Mm-hmm. So that really is something that I really enjoy doing. So hopefully in the future or very soon, I would like to incorporate that a bit more because I think it's a really authentic feel playing the particular drums. Right. As regards to the guitar and so on, I have to learn a little bit more first before I play anything as of yet.
And
but yeah.
What about the steel pan? Because I look at the steel pan and that just look like it has to be. Well, I guess now where they're factory made, it's there's some type of pattern, But if you get into the originals, each pan was different. You have to learn that pan. So what is it like? And
well,
yeah.
The steel pan that I played a little bit with Phase 1 Orchestra, and they're absolutely fantastic. And they were teaching us basically the basics of the steel pan and what it entails and so on. And I really enjoyed it. It gave a different feel because obviously the steel pan sounds a bit more like soca, calypso, and it was a different feel to what I usually play. But I enjoyed it, and I would encourage anybody to definitely go and check it out, feel the vibes, because there's different types. There's bassy ones, there's ones that sound a little bit more high-pitched, and there's other different types as well. You can also play drums as drum kits within it, African drums. So literally all the different types of drums as well as steel pans work really well together. So yeah.
Yes, right. So you can multi-talented. You can say DJ Kat is a multi-talented, in individual as far as DJ, and then also learning different instruments and things like that. And I want to play something else. I'm trying to see what should I play. What should I play? No, you had mentioned, give me another name of one of your favorite old school artists, and let me grab something from that.
Well, I have to say to you, Bob Marley, because he was one of the first person that I listened to in regards to reggae music. Mm-hmm. So you have to bust a Bob Marley tune.
All right, I have to bust a Bob Marley tune. All right, that's. All right, let me see now. Which Bob Marley we are gonna drop? It's wow. That man have so much tune. You just look and say, all right, what should I play? What should I play? All right, I know what I'm going to play. I'm going to play this one right here. It's somewhat, and most of Bob Marley tunes, they're such classics that, you're looking at them and you say, well, I can play this or I can play that or whatever.
Come on, put up.
Here we go. Trenchtown Rock, coming from Bob Marley. DJJammy in conversation with DJKat.
This, I want to tell you, is a Trenchtown experience. All the way from Trenchtown, Jamaica. Bob Marley, well, come on! Trenchtown, I said, don't watch that. Trenchtown.
Yes, I'm telling you, that's a bomb. That was a live version of Trenchtown Rock. Hit me with music. You know what I mean? Because when music hits you, feel no pain. All right, coming from Mr. Bob Marley. And here with DJ Kat, coming to us from out of the UK. You know what I mean? And DJ Kat, tell the folks where, as far as your show, tell them where they can find you, the time, and so on.
Yeah, man. So, like I said, I play every single Wednesday, 6 to 8 p.m. UK time, on arawakradio.com, which is ARAWAK. Arawac.radio, RADIO.com. And you can also find that as well on TuneIn. Just type in the same again, Arawac Radio, and it will come up. And literally just log in from that time and you'll hear me.
Yes.
Yeah.
DJ Kat. Now, as far as in Coventry, around Coventry, do you have any upcoming performances for those who want to hear, DJ Kat live, or
Yeah, well, actually, we do have something coming up towards the end of next year, which is going to be in September, which is going to be on a cruise in Spain. Nice. There's going to be different DJs, 50-odd DJs performing and playing. I'll put that on my Facebook as well, so if people want to check it out. And then there is other things up and coming, but they haven't confirmed yet, so I can't say.
Yeah.
So, I don't want to say it and jinx it, but there is things up and coming, and I'll put them also on my social medias for people to check out, for real.
All right, saying all this. So DJ Kat on Facebook, and you have the link for all the other networks. DJ Kat. I want to say really and truly, it was a pleasure having you here. Normally. At the end of the show, everybody look forward to some kind of acapella, but I'm not going to put you up on the spot like that, yeah? Before we go, we talk about a lot of stuff, but is there anything that you wanted to say or you want to say to the listeners that we didn't cover?
Yeah, well, I just want people to remember to always check on your fellow man, always check on the fellow person. Go to your neighbor and say, how are you? Good morning. Speak to somebody. Say, just get that community spirit together and bring unity together, because I think it's lacking at the moment. No matter what nationality, age, whatever it may be, go to your fellow man and say, how are you? Is there anything I can help you with? Those sort of things, sense of community spirit and unity are lacking, and I really think we need to enhance it. So I would say to the people out there, go do that, or go to a dance, listen to some music, and unify with the music. Yeah.
Yes, massive coming from DJKat, and I'm gonna have to check you out one of these days, as time permits. And once again, DJKat, thanks so very much for being here with us, and for sharing your time and your story. And I love that poetry, because it's really one of the things I think it brings out is that we have to look at people as people. You know what I mean? We're all humans. We have feelings the same way. We have our emotions, and you just have to respect each other and treat each other as you would like to be treated, regardless of religion or race or whatever it is. Whatever. Or group or anything like that. You just have to respect people for people. You know what I mean? Because we're all the same way you hurt, another person hurt, the same way. So, very important. Yes.
Well, you know what, I was just about to say, if you want to, I can do a little drum set for you, for the listeners out there, since I'm not doing a cappella.
You know something? I tell you, right on target. I'm not going to say another word. It's over to you. Grab the drums.
Okay then, one second. I'm putting on loudspeaker as well.
All right.
You still hear me, yeah?
Yeah, I'm hearing you loud and clear.
All right then. You ready?
Ready.
Okay.
Yes, go on, DJKat. Thanks so very much for that piece.
No worries.
Yeah, man. Nice.
I hope the listeners enjoyed it, and I give thanks for your time. I really do appreciate it.
Yes, it's my pleasure. And keep doing what you're doing, and you know what I mean. And like you say, you have a mission to create change, and as long as you keep that focus, and we know it's not going to be an easy road, but I love when people start to something instead of just say they're going to do it, and you're taking that step. DJKat, it's a pleasure having you here. You know what I mean? And man, one of these days, I think we should, we can even link up somehow, and just run some music for the folks. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. Sure.
Together. So, probably arrange something one day and we just say, all right, DJKat, DJJammy, and do something. All right.
Yeah.
Do have a blessed one, yeah?
Yeah, give thanks. Blessings to all the listeners as well, yeah?
Yes. And once again, my pleasure having you here.
Bless up.
Bless up.